Hello, welcome to the video. Today's topic is how to stop waiting and make it come to you now. Make it come to you instead. As you guys are coming in, please go ahead and like the video. Let me know if you can hear me, because that's always important. But again, today's topic is how to stop waiting and make it come to you instead. All right. This is a very important topic, and we can actually thank my lovely assistant Mary for today's topic because she wanted me to go into more detail on this after some stuff I said in one of the last videos. And so this is Mary's idea. If you like it, let her know. I know she's here today on the live. But again, this is a really great live for anybody who feels like they're having a hard time not waiting for the thing that they want to show up. So if it's hard for you to put out a dream and kind of just forget about it, this is something you want to watch and take some notes on, because this is a very important thing we have to understand about the law of attraction, which is that most people have the concept of waiting flipped. Okay? Most people believe that when it comes, I can stop waiting. When I come, the waiting period is over. But that's actually not the way that it works with manifestation. You have to stop waiting first, and then the thing that you want will show up. Okay? Very important distinction. Most people think when it shows up, I can stop waiting. But in reality, the way that it actually manifests is you stop waiting, then it comes. That's the flip. That's the shift. And so you've got to figure out how to stop waiting for the thing that you want so that it can show up. So that again is the theme for today's video. Real quick, I do notice we already have some supers on here. Thanks so much, guys. Pre and TLC 2741, I see your super chats. I'll answer those in just a minute. And then also we have here Keisha Kelvin with a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. And thanks, guys, for everybody who's here on the call today. It's nice to see you. Abundant Queen, Lewis, JK, Rainbow Traveling Yogi, Picket Music, Cowlitz Bill, Rodrigo's here, Eva's here, Starting at 50 is here. Nice to see all of you. Miss Helen Rue on Instagram, nice to see you. Welcome everybody to the call. And if you have questions about manifestation, feel free to go ahead and drop those into the chat, because as I'm going through today's topic, as usual, I'll be pausing to answer as many of those as I can. All right, but let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, so the first thing we have to understand is why we've got to stop waiting, okay? Why we have to stop waiting. And so for this, I've got a picture here. It's not going to show up on Instagram, but in Instagram, use your imagination, okay? But for YouTube and Facebook, you guys will be able to see it. I've got a picture of a woman. All I did, by the way, is I've got like a stock image subscription, and I typed in there the word waiting. That's all I typed in, waiting. And the first picture that showed up was this, okay? And if you're on Instagram, think about somebody who's waiting. So we've got a woman here, and she's looking at a clock, okay? And she's kind of got this look like, when's it going to show up? All right? So the reason why I'm bringing up this image and explaining this image to those of you on Instagram is that when you think of the word waiting, this is the image that comes to mind, is an image of somebody waiting, but they are frustrated, okay? This is why waiting has to stop before manifestation. When we think about the word waiting, when we think about waiting, when we are waiting, we are actually in a vibration of frustration. Think about it. When you're waiting for the bus, you're frustrated. When you're waiting for your kids to come out of school so you can take them home, you're frustrated. When you're waiting for the traffic to clear, you're frustrated. When you're waiting for your paycheck to finally show up, you are frustrated. In fact, we can go ahead and just take the word waiting off the table entirely and say that you got to stop being frustrated before it will manifest, because that's what's going on when we wait, is that we are in a state of frustration. And when we are in a state of frustration, we are in a state of focusing on lack. So you may have heard before that everything exists now and that you have everything now. And it may be very confusing because you look around and you say, well, I don't have everything now. Okay. But that's because there are certain things that we are focused on lack with, and that we are frustrated with, and that we are holding away. So when we're waiting, we're actually creating the existence or the reality of not having the thing that we want. Waiting is not required. You do not need to wait for anything to show up. When you wait, you keep it from showing up. This is why you have to train yourself to stop waiting in order to allow things to show up in your reality. So maybe you guys have seen this before. So I just gave the example of the bus. If you're waiting for the bus to show up, you're frustrated. And if you guys ever notice that the more you're sitting there waiting for it, it just doesn't come. The next bus around the corner isn't your bus. The bus around that after the corner isn't your bus. And it isn't until you kind of give up and you're like, you know what, let me play a game on my phone, or let me talk to my friend. And when you finally take your eye off of the waiting, boom, then the bus shows up. If you're waiting for your boyfriend to text and you keep checking your phone, you're waiting, he won't text. He will not text. Every time you check that phone, it's not from him. It's not him. And then finally you say, okay, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. I'm going to go do my hair, or I'm going to go call a friend, or I'm going to go do something else. And it's the second you get immersed in the new activity and you stop waiting that the person texts you, that he texts you or he calls you. Why? It's not because you had to wait. It's because you were waiting, so you kept him away. You were waiting, so you kept the bus away. You were waiting, so you kept your manifestation away. Okay, so the reason why this topic is so important is that it is often glorified that patience is a virtue. You need to wait your turn. You need to wait for the bell. You need to wait quiet. You're trained that from a young age, that waiting is somehow virtuous, but waiting creates lack. That's all it does. And until this is really hardwired into your mind, you're going to feel that it's okay that you wait. It's okay that you check up, or that you should be checking up. You should be waiting. And you'll stay engaged in that waiting process, which keeps your manifestation from coming. So what I want you to do is I want you to instead associate waiting with frustration. When I'm waiting, it means I'm frustrated. So there is no need or no reason on earth for me to be sitting around waiting. There is something else for me to do. It is better for me to go elsewhere. It is advantageous for me to not look at the clock or not wait for this thing to come. That's the first thing we have to understand. But there's more, okay? But before I get into that, let's go ahead and answer some of these questions here, because I've got some manifesting questions that I saw here. Okay, so the first one is from Pri. Pri wrote in with a super chat. Hi, Andrea. My sister-in-law and her family have been freezing me out for a year or two now. Since I had my baby, they never congratulated us or invited us over to meet him. How can I patch things up? Well, here's a good question. What are you gaining from this relationship? It sounds to me that the more we pay attention to this part of the family, the more we don't feel good. And so with the law of attraction, we want to be really careful about following the trail. So if paying attention to my sister-in-law and her family, or trying to engage with them, is causing me pain or causing me stress or causing me anxiety, which it sounds like it is, what that means is that direction, the universe is telling you stop. Okay? It's telling you stop. It's telling you to go in the other direction. Okay? So instead of leaning into the family, what would be better is to lean out of it. Get away from it. Go, don't try with them, but rather go try somewhere else where you are feeling supported, or you are feeling loved, or you are feeling engaged. You want to notice that if I'm engaging with someone and I don't feel good, that is my vibrational feedback telling me I am putting my nose in a direction that is going to manifest a result I don't want. So instead, I want to put my nose in another direction. Okay. And sometimes with family, this can be tricky because underneath all of this with family, a lot of times are these preconditioned belief structures that you got to stay with family. You got to hang in there with them. It's your job to fix this, blah, blah. But the reality is this relationship makes me feel like garbage right now. Okay. So we have to take the sense of obligation off the table and honor yourself. Honor your vibration, move in a different direction. Now, the interesting thing about this is that sometimes you moving in a different direction can correct the relationship. Okay. But I wouldn't do it for the sake of making the sister-in-law come your way. I would do it for the sake of honoring my vibration and going where my vibration is telling me I'm going to get a positive result. Okay. The big thing with this one that I'm hearing is that I feel a sense to keep my relationship with this person together, even though everything's telling me not to. Okay. So that's really just a limitation that's holding you in there. Okay. And again, congrats on your baby, Pri. All right. I got another question here. TLC 2741. Hi, Andrea. How would you fix this? I want to start dating again and get married, but the thought also terrifies me. I've had a lot of pain from exes unexpectedly leaving me. Ooh, okay. So what I would say for something like this is that, if you want to start dating again, I would start dating again. I would start dating again for fun. For fun. So I want you to take the we got to get married part off of the table, because instead we want to get you to a place where you develop a good relationship with somebody, where you have a sense of trust with that person, that it is going to go the distance. So what I would say would be a great way to do this is to just start dating, but I wouldn't just date one person at a time. In this situation, I would date multiple people. And I don't mean that you need to sleep with multiple people. I mean, I want you to start putting yourself out there, talking to multiple people, and with the intention of having fun. The beauty about talking to multiple people is that you're not going to put all your eggs in one basket. If one of them starts to show indications that they're moving away, it's not going to bother you because you have others that you're talking to. You will have a sense of abundance, that there's plenty of people that I can talk to, that I can date. If one of them starts to stray, I'm not going to be upset about it. Rather, I can focus in on all the ones that I have. All right. And the other beautiful thing about that is that as you're having fun, you'll start to be able to vet and see which of these suitors actually has the qualities that would go the distance compared to the other ones. Okay, so don't think too far ahead in terms of getting married. Instead, right now, I would be focused on, I'm going to put myself out there and date for fun. Keep things light, have a good time, and notice that if you're talking to lots of people that, okay, I'm not getting too attached, so that if somebody floats away, it's okay, so that I'm not going to be reinforcing this idea that people are leaving me, rather that there's always an option, there's plenty of people that want to spend time with me, so that you stay in that vibration. And when you do finally narrow down to the person that you want, the vibration that you're radiating is, people stay with me, I have people around. It's no big deal if somebody wants to take time off or whatever, and you don't push against with that pain. Okay. Good question. All right, guys. Ooh, another super chat. Mickey D. I never realized until now that I've spent all my life waiting to get better looking, better clothes, to get all my business projects done, etc., etc. How to stop. Thank you. Well, the good news is, Mickey, I've got a few suggestions. Okay. We're going to jump right on in with those suggestions. Okay. The big thing is to not, like I was mentioning in the last section, you want to, in your mind, understand that waiting isn't virtuous. Meaning, and I don't mean that if it hasn't come now, you're doing something wrong. What I mean is, if it hasn't come now, okay, I don't need to be paying attention to that fact. Okay. If it's not here yet, Okay, that means I'm not going to pay attention to that right now, because me paying attention to it not being here is me waiting. Okay, instead, I want to place my focus elsewhere. And that's what we'll be talking about, because I've got some more suggestions. Real quick before I jump into that, I did put something at the top of the chat in YouTube. I'm sure Maria will drop it into Facebook. On Instagram, you can find the link in my bio for this. But I've been mentioning that one of my courses is going to be going on sale, and it is now on sale. It's been on sale now for a few days, and the sale will be ending on Thursday. This is my Manifesting Fast Lane program. Okay, so the Manifesting Fast Lane program is a program that is designed to help you manifest fast, quickly, with larger or mid-sized desires. Okay, so this one is not a course for beginning manifestation. This is really more a course for people that maybe you've had some success with some of the, which one is it? It's this one. There we go. Maybe you've had some success with manifesting on a small level, but when it comes to big things, you do find yourself stressing out. This is a good course for you to look into. I do have a link up here for you guys to check out if you want to take a look at it. Real quick, some of the things that we go into on this program in detail. A lot of times people ask me why, it's hard for me to manifest because of my current reality. So maybe there's something I want, but I feel like toxic family members are in the way, or going through a divorce is in the way, or having a health issue is in the way. We talk a lot about how do you work with that energy so you can still manifest quickly. Another question we go over in detail is, why is it easy to manifest what you don't want quickly? A lot of people want to understand that. Sometimes the things that I don't want show up very fast, but the things that I do want take time. Why is that? So that you understand that dynamic and you can use that principle in your favor. Another question we go over in this program is, what can you do to get your manifesting mojo back? So I get lots of people that ask me, sometimes I get on a roll and then it stops. How do I always stay on a roll? We go into detail with that question. Another question we talk about is, what do you do if you're tense and worried that it won't happen for you? So if it's hard for you to let go of chronic stress that you're not going to get what you want, we talk about how you remedy and resolve this. Other things. Another question people ask a lot is about, they like the idea of manifesting what they want quickly, but sometimes they worry that it isn't moral, just, or right for them to have the things that they want. This belief is something that can prevent you from creating the things that you want. We do talk about morality and why manifesting the things that you want is actually a good thing. And then the last question we talk about a lot is it really true that you can manifest anything quickly? Sometimes people think that there's certain things that just take time. That is a flawed belief structure, and in this program, I'll explain to you why. Okay, so this is a very big program. It's got 9 hours of content. It does also come with 2 coaching sessions with yours truly. So it is my most expensive program, so the discount is enormous. All right, so if you're at all interested in that, make sure to go ahead and check out the link, see if you're a good fit, and if you are, make sure to sign up before Thursday so that you get the 50% off. Okay. Oh, and to get the 50% off, use the coupon code FAST, F-A-S-T, at checkout. Okay, that's the business. Let's get back to it. All right, so again, today we're talking about how to stop waiting and make it come to you now. I just got a question on, how do you stop waiting? Let's give you guys some suggestions that you can work with. All right. The first one is to focus on what's popping now. What's popping now? So this is something I kind of talked about in the last couple of lives that I think is a helpful illustration for you to focus on, which is that there are lots of different areas in your life. And so you're manifesting an entire reality. You're not just manifesting a relationship. You're not just manifesting your health. You're not just manifesting your career. You're manifesting all of it. And all of these different areas of your life are in different stages of manifestation. Some of them are in a stage of feeling some lack. Some of them are in the stage of you starting to get what you want. Some of them are in the stage of them kind of going stale, but they're all in kind of a different stage, okay? Somebody who is a very effective manifester does a really good job of focusing on what's popping now, okay? So if I put out a desire for something, like let's say I want an improvement with my relationship, okay? I put that out there. And then if I start to feel like I'm feeling some sense of lack about it, I'll move my focus somewhere where things are popping, okay? So maybe the career is working right now. Or maybe my health is working right now. Maybe my fitness is working right now. And instead of harping on the one area of life where you haven't gotten what you want, you go jump onto another one where you're already winning. Okay? This is a very effective strategy to get you off the topic of waiting. So instead of waiting for something to happen, you're moving over to this other desire where something is happening, and you can take that moment to appreciate the win that you're having, because this is a vibrational game. You always want to be putting out the message that I'm winning, I'm manifesting, things are working out for me. And so if you're waiting for that proverbial bus to come and it hasn't come yet, sitting there and waiting for it isn't going to have you feeling like you're winning. It's going to have you feeling frustrated. So instead, where are things popping for you? Go place your focus over there and have fun with it. That will raise your vibration. It will take your focus off the waiting, and now the thing that you want can come. Let me give you an example. Oh, okay. Here's an example. I try to think about stuff that's kind of going on with me just to illustrate the point. So I mentioned to you guys that I had kind of this issue with my back a few weeks ago, and it started to resolve, and it was starting to feel better. Okay, so I had this area of life where I had a desire to have an improvement, and that was what was popping. But around that time, I was also starting to notice that my kids were starting to really argue with each other. Okay. So a couple weeks ago, my kids were starting to argue with each other. And especially when we were having dinner. Okay. We're having dinner each night and my kids are arguing with each other. And so the desire that I had for in that situation is I want my kids to get along. Okay. That's what I want. I want to be able to sit down and enjoy our dinner and these two teenagers get along. That's what I want. But I was waiting for it. I was noticing that it wasn't happening. I was getting frustrated with it not happening. And so when I noticed that that was what was going on, I sat there and did inventory. Well, what's popping now? What's going well for me now? And I realized, oh, there's lots of things that are going well. One of the things I'm really happy about it right now is that my back's feeling so much better. And let me just sit there and appreciate and focus on how I'm feeling a little bit better and I can move and all this kind of stuff. And it was a very interesting thing because things had been kind of heated in the house between my children, but just that simple focus on coming back over here and focusing on this is going really well. I'm so glad I can stand, I can walk, I can stretch, I can do all of this stuff. All of a sudden that noise died down. And it was a funny thing because in that moment, I noticed that the two of them actually started speaking nicely to each other. Why was that? It's because I stopped focusing on waiting for them to change. And I came over here and realized what's going on well that I can appreciate. See, this is a very effective strategy to help you guys stop waiting. Just do inventory. Go across all the different domains of your life. What's the area that's doing the best right now? Let me go put my nose in there. Okay, so maybe it's career. Career is doing really well. All right, well then the boyfriend's not working out so well. Let me go focus in on career and notice all the things that are working well and rejoice over here and spend a little bit more time over here. And you'll notice that when you do that, then all of a sudden the boyfriend will text something nice or call you or send you flowers. Something will happen. Because the message that you're radiating is, look at me, I'm winning. Things are working out. Things are working out. And you're no longer in that waiting frustration zone. Now you're in the focusing on what's popping now, what's working now. And then the message is things are working now. And then other things start working for you now. Okay. So that's the first thing that I recommend that you guys do. Just do inventory. What area is doing the best? Go stick your nose in there. Okay. If you guys haven't yet, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also go ahead and follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I do lives like this once, maybe twice a week. So I'd love for you guys to come along with me. Also, if you haven't yet, please make sure to go ahead and take my manifesting test. This is a free test where you can prove the law of attraction to yourself, put something out, and watch it come back so that you know that you really are the creator of your reality. Okay, so again, this is a free test. It's only 5 minutes. It's very quick. You can find it at manifestingtest.com. Again, that's manifestingtest.com. On Instagram, the link is in my bio. but manifestingtest.com is the direct link. So we got some more supers over here. Let's see. Falling behind. Let me keep going here. What happened to Pre's question? There it is. I got one here. I got Tony's question. There's a few. Okay. We got another one from Pre. Here we go. Pre S. Thanks, Andrea. One more. Since following your advice and researching methods, my baby is sleeping better, but I myself am not able to sleep or go back to sleep after night baby feeds. How do I improve my sleep? Oh, good question. Okay, so we talked about this on one of the other lives. Pre's has a new baby, and the baby wasn't sleeping well, so it sounds like this baby is sleeping better. Okay, so this is something you want to focus on. When you guys start to see that you're having improvement, I want you to reinforce to yourself, I'm improving. This is improving. This situation is improving. Okay. So sometimes you have a situation like this where it's kind of there's a scale of things that we're wanting to accomplish. So when she originally wrote in, she was writing in because the baby wasn't sleeping. Well, if the baby isn't sleeping, obviously mom's not sleeping either, right? And there's other things that are kind of associated with that. But the thing that you were most concerned about in that moment was baby sleeping. Well, now baby's sleeping, but now we're more concerned about our own sleep, okay? But one of the things that's going on here is that we're noticing that it still isn't resolved. I haven't fixed this. It's still a problem. And so there's this anxiety that's going along with it that's making it easier for you to stay up at night, okay? So instead, what you want to focus on is this is improving. Look at what a good manifester I am, okay? Look at this. Things are improving. I've obviously been shifting this energy. I'm alchemizing this energy. I'm doing a good job. You want to encourage yourself for the progress that you've made, because in the message is, I'm making progress. I'm doing well. I'm a good manifester. And then you're going to get even more results in this department. What often happens if it's not all of it right away, what will happen is you'll get an improvement, but then you say, yeah, but it hasn't done this yet, and this isn't working yet. And then the emphasis is on, I haven't fixed this yet, or I'm still having a problem, or I'm not as good of a manifester as I thought. And that will get a very different result. Okay, so one of the examples I really love from Abraham Hicks is she'll talk about the walking baby. Okay, so like if a baby's learning how to walk and they fall down, you don't yell at the baby, get up, you little dummy. You don't do that. You encourage the baby because the baby's learning. They're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it. Okay. You want to have that same way of looking at yourself when you're seeing some improvements and you're seeing that, look, I'm doing this. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. And that will ease you out of it. The other thing is don't fight the not sleeping. Okay. So if you're laying there and it's not happening, get up or watch something, read something. I always think that that's a much better suggestion when people are dealing with insomnia, because a lot of times people will sit there and then they're just, am I going to fall asleep? When am I going to fall asleep? It's not happening. It's not happening. That's you waiting. Okay. I'm waiting to fall asleep. So if you find yourself in that situation where you're dealing with insomnia from this situation or really any, it's much better once you realize that that's kind of going on. Okay. Well, waiting is just frustration. What else can I go do? Okay, I'm gonna go read a book, I'm gonna go watch a television show, etc. So then you won't be stressed out. It'd be easier for you to fall asleep. Okay? And don't put pressure on yourself. All right. You're gonna get back there, all right? You're gonna get it. Tony asks, hey Andrea, just want to tell you that you're awesome and I'm so grateful for you and everything I'm learning from you. On a fun note, who is your pick for Super Bowl today? Kansas City Chiefs. That's who I want to win. That's who I want. How about you guys? How do you guys feel? I saw somebody was, some people are frustrated that it's the same two teams again, but I like the Chiefs, so I'm happy. All right. All right, guys. Again, guys, today's topic is how to stop waiting and make it come to you instead. All right, so again, we know that we want to stop waiting. The first suggestion I give you guys to stop waiting is to focus on what's working right now. So what area of your life is working? Go stick your nose in there. It will put you in the winning vibration and it will get you from waiting for the bus, okay? Which is very, very important. The next suggestion that I have for you guys is, okay, Total disengagement. Practice and virtuize. Is that a word? I'm going to use it as a word. Virtuize. Total disengagement. Hands off. Okay? Hands off. And hands off is a good thing. Hands off means I'm in control. Hands off, master manifesting move. Okay? The reason why I'm saying this is when people are waiting, they usually want to try more or do more or fix more without realizing that doing that is keeping them in that waiting state, that frustration state. And it is a much more powerful move to just get your hands off of it entirely, intentionally. Okay? So let me give you an example, okay? Because waiting isn't just sitting and thinking, is it coming? A lot of times it is attached to, let me do, let me try, let me fix. And there's this sense that you're somehow a virtuous person or a smart person or someone who's going to get it done if you hang out in there and try harder, okay? But it doesn't work. And so what you want to make a virtue instead is your power and ability to totally disengage. And I want you to look at this as a power move because it is, okay? Let me give you an example, okay? So, and a lot of my examples have to do with kids because I'm around kids. Put my kids on blast today. All right, so my son's in middle school. He's a good kid. Okay, he's a good kid. And the beginning of the year, he takes the bus, so he needs to get himself up and get to the bus. All right. Usually I go off to the gym in the morning. Well, because he is the age that he is, in my mind, I'm like, you know what, before I leave, I'll just go check on him. I'll wake him up a little bit, make sure his alarm is on, make sure his phone is charged and all of that stuff. Okay. Well, not that long ago, he missed the bus one day. And it was an important day to be at school, but he missed the bus. All right. So not that big of a deal. Okay. Didn't really freak out that much about it. I was okay with it. But I'm like, okay, I got to keep up. All right. So let me keep checking. Before I leave, let me make sure he's got everything ready. Make sure he's good to go. And then it happened again. Okay. And then I realized something. I'm waiting for him to kind of do the responsible thing. I'm waiting for him to take the reins on his own, but I'm staying engaged. I'm staying engaged. I'm trying to fix the problem. And this is an issue because when you try to fix the problem, the message that you put out is that the problem just can't resolve itself. If I have to check his phone, if I have to harp on him, the message I'm putting out is, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. Okay. And a lot of times people are doing this. Okay. You're waiting for something to come and you don't trust that it's just going to happen on its own. So you keep your nose in it and you keep trying, But in your keeping trying, what you're saying to the universe is, I don't trust this is going to happen. That's why I have my nose in it. That's why I'm trying to fix it. So again, when I realized that I was doing this, total disengagement was the new strategy. I'm not checking nothing, okay? I'm not checking up on him. I'm not checking his phone. I'm none of that. I'm out. And that was my attitude. I'm out. And it's a very interesting thing that happens is that when you detach totally and get your nose out of the problem, the message that you put, he can do this himself. He doesn't need me. And now guess who gets to school on time? Easily. No problem. Right? He needed less of my engagement, not more. A lot of times, especially with parenting, I get a lot of questions about parenting. What do I do about the kid's grades? What do I do about the kid's attitude? What kid's not watching stop hounding the child. Disengage totally. Because as long as you're engaged, you're waiting for them to change and you're putting out the message that they can't do it themselves or this can't fix itself. It needs me to fix it. Therefore, I don't believe it's going to be fixed. Therefore, it's going to continue to be a problem. All right. So total disengagement is the next powerful thing that you want to do to stop waiting. Again, get your nose in the good stuff and make it a virtue to totally disengage. I'm not going to try anymore. I'm not going to call anymore. I'm not going to harp anymore. I'm out. Okay? You will get results with disengagement. You will not get results with engaging when you're in a state of waiting. Okay? And a lot of people have it built up in their mind that it is somehow they're doing the right thing, or they're hanging in there, or they're fighting the good fight. No, you're not. Okay. You are creating more problems in your reality. That's the only thing that you're doing. It is a much more powerful move to totally disengage. The more that you practice this one, by the way, the easier it's going to be for you to trust in the universe, because you're going to see that when you totally disengage, you do get results. And you will be encouraged to do it more and more and more. And this will help you become the kind of person who can just put something out, back off, and let it show up. Okay? So practice total disengagement. Yeah, if you guys got questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them into the chat. Brian, escape. Patience isn't a virtue. Exactly. It is not. Yeah. Patience, impatience is frustration. But patience implies that I'm sitting here waiting and I'm okay with it. You're still waiting. Just stop waiting. Okay? Just stop waiting. JNR555 on Instagram. I've been waiting 7 years for my daughter to reconnect with me. Sometimes it's unbearable. I pray and send messages once in a while to let her know I'm wanting to hear from her. She needs to know. Maybe she already knows. Let her go. Let her go. She knows. The need to cling keeps them from coming back. It's like anything else. If it was somebody that you had a breakup with and you're trying to make it work, and the minute you're like, okay, and you move on, then they come back. Same thing applies in these kinds of situations. Okay? It's hard. I know with the kids, there's this sense that, well, I gotta wait. I gotta try. But if you really want them back, no. Okay? I know it doesn't sound correct, but that's the way it works. It's just that we've been taught, especially with the family questions are coming up today, especially with the family members. I got to hang in there. I'm not a good person. I'm not a good mother. If I don't, you got to get, that is all restrictive thinking, limited thinking. Okay? That's not where your power is. Okay? Miss Helen Rue, how can I stop thinking about someone who's ghosted me? Get someone else. Get someone. Go talk to some other people. Okay? Again, with the dating, we get hung up. Oh, this is the one person. This is the only person it's going to work. Now we have a one-track mind. It's a very lack mentality. Okay? This one don't work. Get another one. There's another one out there. Okay? The whole plenty of fish in the sea thing you want to dial into. Okay? All right, guys, again, today we are talking about how to stop waiting and make it come to you now. All right, so we have a few things that we want to be doing. One is to go focus in the area that's popping for you right now. Okay, every area of your life is in some stage of manifestation. Which one's working? Let's go jump in there and appreciate and have some fun. Okay, so now we're winning, and then we're not waiting, and these other things can show up, and now we can go back to focusing on them. Okay, the next thing is you want to make it a virtue. You want to see yourself as someone who masters total disengagement. Get your nose out of there and stop trying to fix it. I am going to be so powerful just walking away. It can handle itself. Okay? Practice that one. Because when you see that work, you're going to start doing that all the time and getting results other people just can't get because people are so hell-bent on sitting in there and fixing stuff. All right, the next one I have for you guys is hobbies or new areas of focus. hobbies. It's an interesting thing because everybody puts work like way up here. Work is so important. If I have time for some hobbies, I'm going to maybe throw one or two in over here. After years of doing this, I would say you want to flip that, okay? If you want to be someone who doesn't wait, someone who stays in a good vibration, somebody who manifests on a regular basis, I would inverse relation your work and your hobbies. And I would encourage you guys to find some hobbies or some areas of interest that are fun for you, okay? So, and the reason why is that hobbies are a much easier plate to get on that are usually popping, or they're easier for you to stay happy about. They're easier for you to feel good about. And so if you have a handful of these things at your disposal, at any time that you find yourself waiting for something, whether it is a relationship goal, a career goal, money, otherwise, you can go stick your nose in your hobby. Now, in addition to that, it's not good to just have hobbies, but also I want you guys to have things around you to study your hobbies or focus on your hobbies. Okay. So for instance, one of my hobbies I talk about a lot is I love astrology. I'm just addicted to astrology. It's like, if I didn't do this, I'd be running one of those astrology channels, guaranteed. Okay. But it's a hobby for me. It's not my job. So for me, that's a fun thing for me to do, but I like to make sure that I have stuff around. Okay. So like, for instance, for my birthday, my brother got me this book. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's on ancient astrology. Okay. And so this is like not a beginner's book at all. It's pretty intense, but like I'll have stuff like this kind of littered around my house that has to do with my hobbies, so that if any time I'm frustrated and waiting for something, this stuff is just easy access. You want to get, audiobooks on your phone, ebooks on your phone. You want to have games to play. You want to have access to your hobbies kind of regularly in front of you, so that if at any time you find yourself frustrated, waiting, stressed out, you can reach for that thing as a source of distraction and get yourself back in the winning zone, yourself back into the excitement zone, and things can work out for you. So one of my favorite things to do when I'm waiting is this. Okay. So let's say that I go to a doctor and I'm waiting in the doctor's office. You guys love that, right? How much fun is that, waiting for the doctor to finally be ready for you? If you sit there and just stare at out into space and wait for the nurse to come get you, every time they come to the door, it's not for you, right? It's for everybody else. It's not for you. So you have to find a way to stop waiting. Well, this right here is a great way to tap into that. So if I walk into a doctor's office, I got something like this ready, okay? Because I already know for me that's a loaded situation where I may find myself waiting. So I'll carry stuff like this with me, or I'll have things on my phone, so that when I'm in those situations that are prone to waiting, my hobbies I have access to. And it's a very interesting thing. It's a dynamic I'm sure lots of you guys have seen. As soon as I open up this book and I start going and I get immersed, boom, it's my turn. They're here for me. And now I don't even want to go to the doctor because I'm so immersed in my hobby. Okay. This is a fun one. Make your hobbies important, guys. Again, I would put hobbies more important than your work, because your hobbies are the things that are going to bring you lots of fun and lots of joy. They're not usually tied to things like deadlines and stress, and they're not tied to that. They're just for fun. Okay. So you want to have active hobbies that you can stick your nose in at any time, because you will find there are plenty of opportunities that you can use them to get your nose out of waiting so that you can get a result. Oh, I got some more stuff here. Hold on, make sure I didn't miss anything. Gab, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Thank you. We have a super chat from Les Explorateurs. I butchered that, but I tried. Whenever I'm getting fit to consider a half marathon, my knees get so bad I almost can't walk anymore and have to stop training, which is frustrating. Okay. Yeah, I can feel this. I can feel this because I work out a lot. I don't run marathons. I'm not a huge fan of running. Okay. Okay, but I will give you a parallel. So I go to the gym a lot, like I mentioned, And so I always have goals for myself. So maybe there's a particular muscle group that I'm working on, or there's a particular activity I want to get better at. And there can be times where an injury can pop up. Okay. Now, if in that moment I fight against the injury or I get upset about the goal, what will happen is invariably for me, that particular condition will persist. It's like I can't pass go. It will just persist. So instead, what I have found to be very, very helpful in maintaining my fitness, resolving injuries very quickly, is that when that kind of thing happens, take my focus off of the waiting for it to fix and instead ask myself, okay, what is another goal related to my fitness that I would enjoy greatly that I could do now? Okay, so now I'm going to take my focus off of the knees and the issue with the running, the issue with the half marathon, and ask myself, what is something else I would enjoy that I could be doing now that I haven't done that I could stick my nose in? So, for example, let's say that you love to run, but you also love to swim. Maybe you don't, but maybe you do. You love to swim and you love to run. But because all the focus has been on the running for the half marathon, you really haven't been focused on any swimming. Well, this would be a great time to go jump in the pool and have fun with your swimming goals. Now, the beauty about this is that it's going to give you a distraction from the knee healing, and then the knee will just kind of heal. It's the same trick as taking this to the doctor's office. Okay, so now I'm not waiting for the doctor. I got my nose in something more fun, more interesting, and now the problem goes away. Okay, so the big thing with that is set yourself some kind of new goal that you can do physically that you haven't been able to do because you haven't had the time because you've been focusing on the marathon. Get your nose in there. And now your focus isn't going to be on the knee so it can heal. This is what I do whenever I get injured to resolve injuries quickly. Hope that is helpful. All right, guys. What else we got here? Ina Valentina is on Instagram. Can you overdose? Be too focused on what works well and disregard to take action in regard to what doesn't work? I tend to forget about things that aren't happening. Well, that could be true if we weren't talking about something that had generated a bunch of resistance. Okay? So again, when we talk about all those different plates that are in the air that are different areas of your life, okay? If there's one that's gotten to the place where you're really frustrated with it, what that means is you've over-focused on it already. Okay? So removing your focus isn't going to screw anything up because you've already invested energy into that thing. Okay? It's like the cup for energy for that thing is already full and you're continuing to pour and the water is just spilling off the edge. You got to let it sit there. Go pour into the other things. Okay? So it's not that you're never going to come back around to that thing. It's that we're getting our eye off of it so it can manifest. Once it manifests, you can come back over there and play. It's like once the boyfriend shows up, now we can hang out with the boyfriend and focus on him. Okay? But if it's not coming and we're in a state of lack, that means we're over focused on the lack of just that one thing. We poured lots of energy into it and energy does not dissipate. Okay? So the analogy I always give is the rubber band analogy. Do I have a rubber band? If I had one, that would be great. Oh, that would be so good. But I think I cleaned up in here. All right, well, whatever. Visually represent it. If you take a rubber band, okay, and you pull back on it, that energy stays tight, okay? It doesn't disappear. When you let go, the rubber band shoots forward, okay? That's what happens when you detach and you stop waiting for the thing that you want and you defocus. You've already pulled back. There's so much energy you pulled back focusing on that thing that you want, that when you disengage and go somewhere, it lets go of the rubber band so it can show up. Okay? That's the thing. And then once it shows up, we're good. We can focus again. Okay? But we don't want to be focusing on lack. Good question. Jan R555, it's painful to let go. It's painful to hold on. It is not painful to let go. It's painful to hold on. Okay? Think about it. When you forget about it, the pain's gone. When you're focused on it not being there, that's when it hurts. People think it's painful to let go. It's not. It's painful to be there focused on it not there. It's painful to stay attached. That's where the pain is. But if you believe it's painful to let go, you're going to keep sitting there looking at lack, staying in pain. Okay? You need to be honest with yourself about it. Okay? When you're not focused on it, it goes away. So for instance, we were just talking about injury. You guys will notice this, that if you're injured and maybe you watch something funny, like you start watching something funny on TV, you forget about that injury. It goes away in that moment that you're laughing. Okay? Because letting go doesn't cause pain. Focusing on the lack causes the pain. Okay. Miss Helen Rue is writing a children's book about the moon, an astrology book. That's cool. Daisy Girl 7, what if there's multiple injuries and they are very debilitating? Well, then go pick something else. So you could get your nose out of that for a while and go do something else entirely. I had a girlfriend. It's her birthday today. Actually, she knows who she is. Happy birthday. She had a series of things that happened physically that sidelined her. And what she did instead was she got into doing, she started making sourdough bread and crocheting. I mean, that's what she did. And she got her nose in there, everything healed. Now she's on the mend. And now she makes really great sourdough bread, which, by the way, I had no idea. That's a real feat. Didn't you guys ever made that before? Evidently, that's very challenging. I'm not going to try it. But go find something else to do that would be fun that you haven't been able to do because you've been focused in doing more physical activities. Simo Bog 85, you love the analogies. They stick with you and help you remember your teachings. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Ralph on Facebook. So Andrea, I did a small manifest a while ago, and when I started listening, why am I afraid to do it again? For fear it was a fluke. Ooh. Well, I think people think that the law of attraction is some kind of magic that you somehow conjure, right, for specific things. But really, the law of attraction is how everything is done. And so if you're having this situation, what may be more helpful to do is to sit back and notice when things showed up, what was I thinking? So let's say that something positive with a friend happens, okay? Ask yourself, what was I thinking about, or how was I feeling before that happened? Because what you'll notice is right before that happened, there was this sense of maybe feeling more loving, feeling more connected, feeling more kind, and then something good happened. Also, if something negative happens, let's say, you get into a fender bender or you stub your toe, ask yourself, what was I thinking about right before that happened? Because what you're going to start to notice is you are manifesting a match to what you thought and felt before that thing happened. Okay, so this is kind of the manifesting test in reverse. Notice what was going on up here before things showed up, because what that will show you consistently is that you're always manifesting. I was thinking such and such, and this happened. I was in a great mood and I got the best parking spot. I was in a bad mood and this person was rude to me. And then something else happened bad. You're going to start to notice that it's not some magic that you conjure. It's something that's happening all the time. And once you realize it's happening all the time, then there's nothing to fear. It's just the way that it is. Good question. Oh, that's an interesting question. Explore and beyond. Hi, Andrea. My boyfriend has Tourette syndrome, and lately I can't get over him ticking. How can I disengage from that in order to drop irritation? Thanks. All right, I have a suggestion for you. This is okay. So that's a great question because this is another stop waiting kind of technique, but it's not one that I really went over. Okay. So let's say that you're in a situation like this where something's going on that's annoying you like crazy. And trust me, Andrea, I would like to not be paying attention to this. Okay. So what you're waiting for it to stop. So we want to flip it, and instead of waiting for it to stop, wait for it to come. So what I mean by that is maybe how many ticks can I count today? How many can I get? Is he gonna do it once, twice? Let's see if we can get, this way when he does it, you turn it into a win rather than something you don't want. So instead of I don't want him to tick, I don't want him to tick. No, I want him to tick. Let's see how many times he ticks. Okay? Now, when I say this, most people, what they hear is, Andrea, now he's going to start ticking all the time, and aren't I going to be annoyed? No. Okay. What's going to happen is shifting it to a game of how many ticks can I get makes it a game, meaning that the ticks are now something positive. They do not annoy you anymore. And once you get them, you're like, oh, I got one. Now they're going to go away because you don't really care. Okay. And you'll often find that they just stop. They just stop. This is something I practice at the gym. I used to have a big problem at the gym. Big problem. It's gone now because I know how to remedy it right away. So when I used to get really annoyed if people would work out close to me. So there's always a few people in the gym that they would get real close to me. Right on the treadmill next to me or work this close to me, and it was so annoying. But if I saw them coming, I didn't want them to come, boom, they were right there. Couldn't get rid of them. Okay. So instead, that's what the game that I'd play. All right, I see this dude. How close are you gonna get today, buddy? This is what I'm thinking. Okay, is it gonna be a foot? Is it gonna be 2 feet? And I'd wait, let's go, come on. Then he wouldn't come. Why? Because I'm not fighting against it anymore. You get it? Try it. Try it. See how many you can get. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is just head games you got to play with yourself, guys, because you've been trained into thinking a way that prevents results. So sometimes we got to trick ourselves, trick the mind a little bit so you can get results. That's one of the ways you can do it. Thanks, Snow Sparkle. Sourdough bread is tricky. Dear Andrea, thank you for sharing your wisdom. I have a question about the opposite of waiting. Sometimes you have to do something to start something. When do I stop doing? When it's not fun. So sometimes I talk about this. If you want something to manifest, it can help to take some action. Okay? You want to start a business, it's going to help to take some action. Okay? You want to get into shape, it's going to help to take some action. The reason why the action is helpful and effective is because it puts you in that vibration of I'm doing this. This is happening. Okay? If you're taking action and you don't have that feeling of I'm doing this, this is happening, good time to go focus on something else, because in that moment you're focused on waiting. Okay, so get involved in the action when you feel like you're in the flow, when you feel like, okay, we're doing this, we're having fun, we're getting it done. But the second it loses that quality, get out. Okay, so my work is a perfect example of this. I love what I do, but when I don't love it, we stop doing it and we go do something else, pick a different plate. Okay. And then when I'm ready, I come back to this one. This is something, okay. I have another, me with the silly images today. I want to put this one up. Hold on a second. So we got another stock image here. It's a guy juggling. If you're on Instagram, he's juggling. He's juggling an apple, a lemon, and I don't know what that is. Pear? I don't know. He's got 3 pieces of fruit. All right. One of them's red. When you look at jugglers are always looking up. Okay. They're looking at that one at the top. All right. I want you to think about your life. You've got all these different areas of your life that you're manifesting. All right. These are like different pieces of fruit that you're juggling. As you're juggling, you're always looking at the one that's popping. Okay. This one's coming. This one's coming. This one's coming. You're not looking down at the lemon, because if he starts looking down at the lemon or trying to follow the apple the whole way through the cycle, he's going to drop all of them. Okay? This is what I'm trying to drive home is the point, is that everyone's got this hang up that if I stop looking at the apple, there's going to be no, you're not supposed to, this is not the apple's turn. Okay? And then you can tell it's not the apple's turn when you don't feel that sense of, okay, this one's popping right now. Put it down. There's another one's popping. It's time for the lemon. Okay. That's the way you want to be looking at this. Okay. It's a big issue that people have with manifestation. And you know, we get this because we learn about the law of attraction and then we think, oh, I'm going to manifest the career. Oh, I'm going to manifest the money. And there's this singular goal or focus that comes into the mind's eye as if you're not manifesting all of it. Okay. And so you're not going to be having seamless juggling, successful juggling, if you're trying to focus on the apple the whole time. So the way you can tell is that it's not in that state of feeling productive. Put it down. Something else needs your attention now. Now it's the lemon's turn. Okay. And be willing to go there because the apple's going to come back around. I hope that makes sense. All right, guys, again, another reminder, sale for the Manifesting Fastlane program is closing on Thursday. Again, let me drop this one in real quick. If you've enjoyed today's program, it's not that one. If you've enjoyed today's program, you know, and you're interested in learning how to manifest quickly and you aren't new to the law of attraction, okay? You got to have some basic knowledge before you take this one because this one's a higher level course, okay? This program is my biggest course. It's got 9 hours of content and it's designed to help you become a very effective and consistent fast manifester, even with big dreams, okay? So if you've been having the experience where you get frustrated with your bigger dreams, or you're stressed or worried that those aren't going to come, if you're concerned that your current circumstances are getting in the way, like I'm having problems with my mom, or I'm having problems with my toxic family, and that's why I can't manifest, this course will help with that. This course is going to show you that all things can be manifested quickly. There aren't some things that you just need to wait for. That is a limitation. It's also going to show you how to stay in your manifesting mojo. A lot of people that learn about the law of attraction, they can get going, but then they fall back down. This course is going to show you how to stay up here. Okay. In addition to that, we do go through the exact steps of fast manifesting. So fast manifesting does require certain things to occur. They are vibrational things, but there are things that you do need to understand. Additionally, this program does come with coaching. I only have a couple programs that come with coaching, and I don't do independent coaching sessions. So if coaching with me is something that you're interested in, you may want to check this out as well. And this program is only on sale one time this year. It is a huge sale because it's an expensive course. So if you're at all interested, please make sure to go ahead and check it out. See if you're a good fit for it. See if it's something that you would do well with. And if you're interested, make sure to sign up by Thursday, okay? Use the coupon code FAST at checkout. That's FAST to get 50% off. Again, this program will not be on sale again for another year. You can find that link in the chat on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Instagram, the link for that program is in my bio. In addition to that, I will be back on Thursday to do another live, and I'll be back on all 3 platforms. I plan on being back at the same time, which is 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So if you guys are around, make sure to come over and say hi. Thanks so much for joining in today, for all the great questions, the great super chats. I appreciate you guys. And of course, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.